Today I'm bringing you another folder, a folder I've been carrying for quite some time now, for several months, probably a year or over a year. Now we're in a vast ocean of brands out there, and you have certain brands like Honey Badger knives that might get caught in the undertow, and you're not going to be able to see the surface for you to basically see them long enough to be able to notice what a good company they are, what great knives they have as an option to you. And especially in the budget line, being knives that are pretty much sub $100, they go for a pretty good product. Now, if you guys haven't figured it out yet on my channel is catered towards a love of all blades. Now, you'll have one day where I'm showing you a katana sword, one day where I'm showing you a European longsword, another day where I'm showing you a really hot American-made fixed blade or a budget folder. You're going to see a lot of variations in what I show you on my channel. I'm not here to show you the latest and greatest. I'm not here to show you what's new on the market for Kershaw or Cold Steel or something like that. I'm here to basically take you on a knife adventure with me. It's a knife journey that I'm going on and a blade journey that I'm going on, and just to show and share with you my love of blades. And if I happen to acquire a knife via a company sending me knives for reviews, I am an ambassador at Roastcraft Blades, so I get quite a few of their blades for review, especially all their first and second rounds. Or if I get knives as a gift, or if I get knives as a loan, or if I acquire them myself. Now, it's mostly the first three, and mostly my channel survives on the first three that I mentioned. So I by no means ever claim to be a professional, claim to be a know-it-all as far as steels and things like that. I'm learning more and more every day as I just go deeper and deeper into this journey of knives. And it is really for the love of blades. And that's what I'm sharing with you guys. And if I can help you along the way and show you some new products and help you make a decision, or maybe talking to the owner or the providers of the knife to me, maybe I have a better connection to them. If I can help you out in that fashion, then I basically did what I was supposed to do. But it's more just to share this journey with you in terms of knives and swords and blades of all kinds. This particular knife is called the Large Flipper from Honey Badger. Now, this is a budget knife, but I just wanted to kind of talk to you a little bit more about Honey Badger, the company. So I am on Honey Badger Knives site. Now, this particular knife company it's advertised as Africa's toughest knife. Now, it's pretty cool, the Honey Badger name, because Honey Badger is said to be one of the toughest, if not the toughest animals in Africa. Even lions fear the honey badger. It's just one of those types of animals that just instill fear into, its opponents or anybody that it encounters. So they named the honey badger knife after Africa's toughest animal. Now, this particular knife was designed and invented for South Africans who wanted a good knife that they can carry every day, but in a budget style line. So these knives are still to this day being designed by South Africa. They have a really good OEM, from what I read, in China that produces their stuff and uses different types of steels that you can choose from. So if you look at their site here, it's actually a pretty attractive looking site. I mean, you have here the types of blades you can choose from. You have your clip points, you have your claw serrated, you have your claw smooth, you have your leaf blade, you have your hook, you have your drop points, you have your openers, which is pretty interesting, and you have this like modified tanto style type of knife. And this is something you don't see every day, a worn cleaver. So it's a worn cliff, made into like a cleaver. So it's a couple different types of blade styles that you can choose from. I think that would serve some purpose for you. Then you have choose a blade steel. So you have these different types of blade steels, mainly three. The best steel they have is the 14C2 8N, which I am also very fond of this steel. Their entry level is the 8CR13 MOV blade steel. Their D2 blade steel is a great all-around good steel for so many different reasons. And then you have your black coating on the 13 MOV. So there's your options in terms of your steels. And they have a very simple way of choosing knives with them in terms of their size. So you simply have small, which is about 2.8 inch blade, medium at a 3.2 inch blade, and a large at a 3.6 inch blade. And then you have their section where they have spares for you to be able to keep your knives going. Okay, so it's a nylon, it's a fiber reinforced nylon material. That's exactly what all of the materials of their handles are made of. So you have just simply the color options. You have black, tan, green, blue, and orange. I obviously have the blue handle. And the good thing about this company is the fact that they do have a 100% guarantee. And I read up more that it actually has a 10-year manufacturer's warranty against defects, materials, and workmanship, which is pretty cool. I mean, if you're not stupid with it and it fails because basically there's a defect in how it was made or the steels or anything like that, then you do have 10 years of a warranty, which is pretty cool. And it's not very common, with a knife of this type of price point to have that type of warranties. Price ranges, so the most expensive one I see here is about $99, still sub 100. It's a Tanto medium size. It comes with that C28N steel, pretty attractive looking knife. And this actually has G10 handles, which I didn't think there was an option for it, but I guess there is. So you have G10 jade handles. And it's a limited edition. That's what it is. It's a limited edition. That's why G10 is not that prominent. And this looks like a pretty damn good knife for about $100. 7.3 inch total length, the blade length of 3.19, perfect size. And then they range in price at this steel, 65, 69, 75, probably in the 70s, 60s and 70s, which is still a good sub 100 style budget blade that you can use for an everyday purpose. A lot of people get budget steels because they just don't want to have to worry about carrying a very expensive knife around. And not even going to D2. D2 is probably in the middle range, but the HCR 13 MOV, which is pretty much this knife I have here, this is the steel that this comes in, and this is their most budget conscious steel. And these range, again, $30, $39, under $40, at around $41 for certain types of blade finishes. You have the clip points, which are obviously the more expensive ones. Okay, so this is actually the knife I have here is mine. It's the drop point. Large flipper blue with the HCR 13 MOV, and about $39, and it's a great price. Not too many frills on the blade or anything like that, but we're going to get into it. I'll show you some images of the blade. So just to show you, a different type of company that you don't hear every day about, Honey Badger. And I really wanted to kind of share this with you to show you a pretty good knife company with a good warranty and something that works. But I wanted to also go into this particular knife myself and show you my experiences of carrying this around and using it and doing some testing with it. These are images actually from the first time I kind of filmed some footage of this knife. This is the original box it comes in. It has like a little magnet type of thing. It's a nice little presentation, little magnet box that kind of flips open. And it's got some nice literature inside that you can basically, they did actually a lot of work in putting together a nice literature packet to have the user, if they're not familiar with their site or if they're not familiar with their product, to have the user kind of familiarize with their product immediately with a nice booklet that they made up. And you know what? This takes time. It takes printing. You have to hire a designer. You have to hire a printing company. The knife itself also has an Allen key there, so you can make little adjustments on the knife, which is pretty cool. It's good that they give you the actual tool with the knife that you need. So that's stuff you definitely want to hold on to. So again, just taking care of the customer and just making sure that the knife is going to last for them. And, it's good. With the 10-year warranty, they at least they stand by their product for the most part. At first glance, the knife is an attractive knife. I like that whole honeycomb type of finish. It's good to give you good grip on the knife at all times. It's also really good even if you have wet hands. Not that this is an outdoor knife by any means, for the most part, but it is good if you have slick hands or sweaty hands, that you're going to have a pretty good grippy feel with that nylon, that reinforced nylon with this honeycomb pattern. And it's pretty attractive. I like the Honey Badger symbol on there. It's also the egos on it is great. The egos, you can see that basically it's going to fit your hand pretty nicely. It's a large handle too. It comes in at about 3.788 ounces, so it's not heavy, not light. You know, it's a pretty good weight to it. The knife open is at around 8.25 inches. The blade is around 3.63 inches. So the handle is somewhere in the 4-inch range, but it definitely fits your hand extremely well. It's comfortable. There's no hot spots. And again, it's very grippy, and I like the way it feels. I've always liked the way this knife feels. As far as even from the first time that I kind of put it in my hands, very attractive looking. It has jimping around the finger area there. It has jimping around also the liner lock, which is cool. And it had jimping on the top. So it has, you know, it's jimping in places where you need to have the jimping in it. I love the fact that on the liner lock, you have that jimp area so that, you know, that kind of, it's ribbed. You know, it's ribbed for his and her pleasure. So it's ribbed to the point where you have a textile feel on the liner lock, which I wish actually more knife companies did, to have that ribbed feeling on the liner lock where you engage the blade. You know, but it's balanced in the hand, and it does, you know, what you need to do as far as a good EDC type of carry. Now, I did do some cutting with it, guys, and listen, I try to do kind of the same test with all knives. Now, obviously, certain knives are going to handle wood processing, you know, a lot better than others. So I try to do a similar test on all knives to show you what knives excel at others. Now, I did basically in a pinch, it did carve some wood, also needs some sharpening. I found that basically from using it for a while, I haven't really touched it. I needed to hone it a little bit because wasn't really slicing paper sharp. But after kind of just stropping it a couple of times, it brought it back to acceptable sharpness level just after a couple of strops, to the point where I was able to continue doing some tests for it and show you some whittling of the wood. It did an okay job, guys. Again, it's not a camping knife. I wouldn't recommend it as an outdoor camping knife, but in a pinch, if you need to basically carve up some wood or carve up anything or just do some good cutting, it can slice for you, and it did stay comfortable in the hands. There was no hot spots. There was no fatigue, no pain anywhere where I was jimping it, so there was no problems in terms of using it. But obviously, the blade wasn't conducive enough to be a very good wood slicer, so you have to understand, certain knives have certain applications. So did it handle all the wood processing? Did it handle cutting rope and cutting paracord? Yes, absolutely. I couldn't cut, you know, many different strands of rope at the same time. I had to go individually. But again, different knives have different strengths. So that just goes to show you these are not tests, but these are demonstrations to show you what knives excel at certain tasks. So at the end of the day, guys, this is a great knife that does many different things well, but I recommend it as a good EDC carry. Again, really good action. I didn't talk about the ball bearings. It's got something like 18 ball bearings. Very smooth action. I don't know what difference that makes, but it drops extremely well. The detent, if you're into it, it drops extremely well, very effortlessly. I like the way it feels. I like the sound of the open and close. I love that jimping again along the liner lock there. Okay, so you have that textile feel, okay, which is great where you want to engage with the blade. It has jimping, okay? It has jimping on the top of the blade. It has jimping here, basically where your fingers engage with it, and it has jimping on the liner lock. So it's a very well thought out knife, and I think they have the consumer in mind. And you do have a really nice jimped finger choil right here. Okay, where if you really want to get in and do some more fine cuts, if you got to cut threads or ropes or anything like that, or if clothing tags, and you want to just get in there so you don't like cut who you're cutting the tag off of or anything like that, whether it be a wedding dress in my situation or whatever, you have a little bit of a finger choil there that you can get in and have a little bit more control of the tip. And that also is jimped. So it's very well thought out. It's a very well thought out for the client or for the customer in terms of this knife. And at around $39, it's a great EDC option. I like Honey Badger as a company. I like the warranty that they offer. And I like the options in terms of their different types of blade shapes, different types of blade options. There are different types of knife sizes in terms of small, medium, large. Very simple. No brain surgery here. You know, that's what you want. You want a small, medium, or large. It's there. The handles are pretty much all the same. You just pick your colors. I love the black one. The black ones are pretty cool. If I had to get another one, I would definitely go with the black. And you have your different steels. You have your more expensive 28 steel, and then you have your D2, which is mid-range, which is a great steel, and then you have your entry level, which is 13 MOV. So there's a different knife for everyone, for anyone there who's looking to get into like a budget type of brand, have a pretty good company that supports their product, and just something that's attractive, that looks good, that works good. And again, I've had this for well over a year. I haven't done anything crazy with it. It's not like a crazy work knife, but it's a good everyday knife that has been in my rotation for quite a while, and it's been handling itself well. And it does do certain things out of its price point or out of its expertise well if you need to call upon it to do so. But if not, it is a great ADC carry. So I hope that helped you guys. This is a Honey Badger large folder, and as I come up with some other folders that I think would be good for under $50 range, I will definitely bring that over to you. But in the same respect, I also am going to show you some really good American knives in Phobos knives. That's going to be my next set of reviews that are more high price and more purpose driven for that someone who's really serious about using their knife and having their knife work for them. Okay guys, as a side note, this channel supports our U.S. veterans, awareness for veteran suicide, hashtag 22 a day no more. So what we're really only saying to our vets is, vets, you have a place here with us on our knife channels, our sword channels, and please be with us, share some moments with us, and let us support you as much as we possibly can. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in my next sword and knife video. And for the love of blades, guys, this is JS Bladecraft, Joe signing out. Peace and love to each and every one of you guys. Have a good one, guys. Ciao.